reduced, it's not reductionist theory, but that the whole is coming as a whole. So parts of the whole is still whole, and we go back into the whole. So everybody is complete. Everybody is a God, and everybody has powers. So that is the philosophy with which the East, especially in India, we work. That there is no person who's born out of sin, but that every person has good and evil together. And good cannot exist without evil. So evil is necessary for good. And the center is very strong. So they say you cannot work in stillness. So everything falls apart. So fights have to happen, enmities and jealousies and wars, and that is circular, it is moving and moving and moving. And that's why the world is going. So there is a theory that we have to accept everything. So this is like basically the philosophies of which even stories are composed. So you find a lot of stories of Rakshasas and devils and demons, and then you have these very nice people. So this is just in general about the history of storytelling in India. Now we went through a phase where the history was wonderful, everything was nice, the oral tradition was going on, until, you know, with every invention we have given up a bit of our telling. When the first writing came to be, then little bit went. When the television came, more went. Now with so many gadgets, nobody wants to tell stories. Except in the houses, still some of the tradition is continuing, but not many people are talking, more talking through computers. So we are trying to revive and find a modern application for the ancient art of storytelling, because India has 31 states and it has at least 1,600 languages. So what do we do to bring or merge or revive all the stories? In each language there is a story, in each state there is a folk tale, in each state there is a folk song. So it's a beautiful cultural bonanza. So we're trying to do that to bring a modern application. Now that is briefly for the history for you of storytelling in India, and we are passing through the phase where we're trying to stand up on the ground and trying to build this, make this pillar of storytelling very strong. And I think what we use in Kathalaya, which is the organization that we have, is can we tell a lot of stories directly and transmit the emotional part of storytelling to the people. So emotionally, can we have direct storytelling so that we can, you know, pass the sympathy of the characters through the stories. And another big thing is, everyone thinks storytelling is theatre, but we try to tell them that theatre is quite different and you need a lot of characters. Storytelling is very, very easy. It can be told under the tree, near the lake. One person can become a lot of characters, yes, and we can have the framework of the tale and keep changing the framework according to the audience. So audience play a very important role for us in storytelling. Like when I went to one of the storytelling for children and I wanted to tell the crow story. Now the audience were children and the theme was birds. So I said, okay, today I'm going to tell you a folk tale from Kerala, and it's about two crows. And all the children, they didn't like it. So I said, oh, you don't like this story? No. Why? We don't like crows. So you don't like crows. Why don't you like crows? Because they are black? Because they are dirty? So they don't want story. So I can't tell the children, no, I'm prepared for that story, now you listen. I have to tell them some other story. So I said, shall I tell you the story of this beautiful white swan who is so graceful and moonlight on her wings, and she's so beautiful, and she's going on this lake. And do you want to hear that story? And all the children said, yes. Okay. So there was this beautiful swan. When she looked up, she saw the beautiful colors of the sunset on a black wing. And on the black wing was an orange spot, which was so beautiful. And that wing belonged to her best friend, who was the crow. So, now the children said it was fine for them. So I went around to change the story, and I made them best friends, and also told them how finally they are birds, and then coexist if they accept each other. So you have to tell them, now this is also a story from the Panchatantra. And then I told them, now after that there were 40 children. So I asked them, now how many of you don't like the crow? Only 2 hands. So you have made some difference when you are telling a story to change the thinking of the child. So if you can change the thought process of the children, I think you've done a great job. Now that's a problem and that's a danger, because the teachers are not ready. The teachers say, no. Don't change the way our children are thinking. Yes? So when we say we want to do a workshop for storytelling, and they say, storytelling? Telling a story, even we tell stories. You don't want a workshop for that. Yes, so it had to be a very difficult process. It was like breaking a stone when we went to all the schools 12 years ago and told them, we will do a free workshop, and if you don't like it, then we go away. But if you like it, please call us again. And that's how we've trained more than 49,000 teachers today. So it's been a very effective tool as long as Karnataka is concerned. All the government schools in Karnataka today have storytelling in the curriculum, and they call it activity-based learning, so they have the curriculum to go along. Okay, then to go on with a little bit of the elements of storytelling, or what would be, why it would be successful in a storytelling field would be that one is that if I have belief that the storytelling is going to work, then I think it can go to everywhere. So if I believe in the stories, if I believe that the story can change the world, that giving is not only about giving money, but I think I'm doing a great job when I say I'm giving a story to a child, because that child is going to grow up into a beautiful human being when they listen to a good story. And why? It's not just entertainment, but there they also make the children think. Probably it can change the way the world is going, because we have so much violence and so much of hazards today in the world. I think the younger generation can be the future with a different thought process. Right? So when I go and talk to the principals in the schools, then they say, oh, okay, and then we do the workshop. So I think first is that we have to feel positive about it. So I would ask, what would be the elements of storytelling? What would go into the essence of telling a story well? What do you think is the essence of a good story? Yes?
I like it when they have a good message.
Good message?
Yes.
Okay. So the content, you say?
Yes.
All right. So the content will be the right story. So choosing a good story. Okay? Yes?
Something that will touch your feelings?
Wonderful. Something that will touch you emotionally and touch you with feeling. Because if I don't feel a story, as you said, I cannot tell a story well. can always tell a story. Once upon a time there was a crow and he was very thirsty and looking for water everywhere, and he was a nice crow, and finally he found the water, and then he put the pebbles, the water came up, he drank the water and flew away happily. Yes?
There must be a conflict.
A conflict. Conflict in the story, yeah, like a climax. Right? Yes. Every story has a plot, yes, and there's a twist. Yes? You believe that?
Yes.
Yes. Every story begins, and then it gains momentum, then there's a plot that changes, that twists the story, and then you have a very good end. So that's also important. Yes.
Right story for the right party.
Wonderful. Right story for the right part. Yes. So, I don't know, because sometimes you have a mixed audience, then you have to choose your, but the right story for the right audience. Yes? Yes.
Smart questions to a solution possibility.
Wonderful. Smart questions and smart solution possibility that can follow the story. Great. What I do is, in the elements of storytelling, it's a huge ocean. So you have, I call, internal aspects. Within, I must feel good. From inside, I should be very confident. From inside, I should believe in truth. I should believe that I'm going to tell a good story. Yes? If I don't believe, then I cannot tell a good story. Yes? So the belief from inside is very important. The external is pretty easy. How to use your hands for a bird. Easy. How to use a flower and butterfly. Yes? How to make your voice louder. Ah! Once there was a giant. Louder. Once there was a giant. He was so huge. And he walked. And he walked. And he walked. And he was very hungry. Right? So, I can do that. There was a lovely rainbow in this one. And the rainbow had 7 beautiful colors. It looked lovely. The blue sky. And every day the mountain closed his eyes and watched the colors of the sunset. The sun from bright yellow to deep yellow to orange and red. And he felt the wind. He felt the cloud. So now I'm feeling the story. Yes? Yes. So feeling the story, very, very essential.